What I'm about to share with you only works if you are in a position of power. And that power is the power of choice. This is a profoundly serious moment for me. The weight of it comes from looking at a group of people who have the genuine capacity to turn their deepest ambitions into lived reality. We exist in a time and a place where that translation is possible. You have to understand the contrast. There are moments where I speak in places with no exits to individuals whose options have been permanently revoked. I can offer them hope, a flicker of light, but I cannot hand them the keys to walk out and rebuild. That's why I'm electrified to be here with you. The words we exchange in this space have the potential to become the fuel for the rest of your life. That is not hyperbole. When I leave, we may never cross paths again, but the ideas planted here can rewire how you operate permanently. Once you shift your mode of operation from, say, 70% to 120%, things begin to happen in your life that never happened before. Not because you suddenly gained a new talent. This is not about ability. This is about activation. Your abilities are your abilities. I cannot teach you today to sing better if you're not a singer. I cannot give you a gift you do not possess. But what I can do, what I am here to do, is help you operate in a gear you've never used. I can help you execute in a way you have never executed. And that shift in execution is what transports you to an entirely new altitude. So we start here. Right now, I need you to get brutally honest with yourself. I don't mean the nice to have goals. I'm talking about the non-negotiables, the 1, 2, or 3 things that you must, with a capital M-U-S-T, accomplish before this chapter of your life closes. This isn't about casual improvement. This is desperation. This is I have no other choice territory. This is the stuff that if the ball drops and you haven't done it, you will not be able to sleep. You will not find peace. Write that down. Write down the thing that feels like life or death for your trajectory, the thing that will finally put you in the room you've been knocking on the door of for years. I'll give you my moment. It was utterly random. A casual holiday gathering after Christmas, a friend's house, just dinner, laughter, normal life. My friend's wife was pursuing her doctorate, navigating visa complexities. In a passing, almost offhand comment, my friend said, "You know, I think my wife might finish her PhD before you finish yours." It was a casual observation, but it didn't feel casual. It felt like a spear. Have you ever had a moment where a simple statement pierces through all the noise and just sits in your gut? I was further along in my program. I was the citizen. It was my project. But in that instant, none of that mattered. All I heard was a single screaming question in my mind. Are you ever going to finish this? Are you actually going to get it done? The rest of the conversation faded into static. I excused myself politely, and the 5-minute walk home felt like an eternity. One thought on a loop: enough is enough. That is the space I need you to access right now. That enough is enough space. It has nothing to do with intelligence or capability. It has everything to do with a final silent decision that the era of talking is over. So look at that thing you wrote down. I need you to do me a favor. Put a year next to it, a real year. Don't pick one for me, pick the year it ends. For me, in that moment, I declared the next year. This time next year, I told myself, we will be in this same room having the same meal, but you will call me doctor. I even promised to fly his parents in. I built the entire victorious scenario in my mind before I had written a single new page. I put a date on it, 2015. Now, I need you to go further. Put a month next to that year, any month from January to December. Pick the month it's done. As you write that month, I want you to think about this. Who are you doing this for? This is critical. Next to that goal, I want you to write down the names of 3 people you genuinely love. 3 people. Now, I want you to do the real work. Maybe now, maybe the moment you get home. For each of those names, I want you to answer, how will me accomplishing this goal revolutionize their life? How will it change what's possible for them? Don't just think it. Write down 3 concrete ways for each person. This was my switch. When I thought about that doctorate, it stopped being about letters after my name. It became about doors. Doors that had been closed to me because of where I came from, or what I looked like, or the pedigree I didn't have. I remembered being passed over for opportunities given to less capable people. The degree was a skeleton key. It was going to open doors for me that were once sealed shut, which meant it would open doors for my daughter, for my wife, for my mother. So on the days I didn't feel like studying, and there were many, I didn't think about the dissertation. I thought about my daughter. I thought about my grandmother. I thought about my friend and his wife. The goal was no longer a personal achievement. It was a communal lifeline. That is why you stop and start. That is why you quit. Your goal is not meaningful enough. If you quit, the only person who feels it is you. And if you've made peace with disappointing yourself, you'll always quit. You have to create stakes that are unbearable to lose. So I didn't just set a goal. I created a scenario with real, tangible, emotional consequences. I announced it publicly. I rented a venue for the celebration 8 months before my defense. I picked the menu. I chose the linens. I called my grandmother, the one steady rock in my life, and told her to save the date. My grandmother, on a fixed income, went out and bought a new dress. She booked her hairstylist. Then a professor sat me down. "Eric," she said, "you've waited too long. The paperwork pipeline is too slow. I don't think you can graduate this term." I didn't argue about forms. I looked at her and said, "Ma'am, you don't understand. I already told my grandmother. She bought a dress. She booked her hair. If I don't walk across that stage, I'm not just letting myself down. I'm explaining to the woman who never missed a game, a recital, anything, why she wasted her precious money. I can't do that." That is the difference. That is skin in the game. That is creating a scenario where failure is not an option, because the cost of failure is someone you love's disappointment. You've made your goals too cheap. You've negotiated with them so much that you have nothing to lose by quitting. So let's lock this in. You have your non-negotiable goal. You have your year and month. You have the names of your 3 people and how it changes their world. Now the final piece, accountability with teeth. Who is the one person you will call today and tell all of this to? Not someone who will just nod. Someone who will ask you the hard questions. Someone who will say, "Did you do the thing you said you'd do for your daughter?" I identified my person. I went beyond that. I turned my entire audience into my accountability partners. I made the finish line a public event before I'd even crossed it. This is the formula. This is how you get it done when willpower fails. You don't rely on discipline. You engineer a situation where quitting is more painful than grinding. You connect your labor directly to the heartbeat of the people you love. You make a promise so big and so public that walking back from it would be a form of personal obliteration. Your ability was never in question. Your follow-through was. And your follow-through is a direct function of meaning. If the goal matters little, you'll do little. If you embed that goal into the fabric of your relationships and your identity, you will move mountains. You will find energy you didn't know you had. You will get up when you're tired. You will work when you don't feel like it. Not for a grade, not for a promotion, but for her, for him, for them. That is how you transition from someone who talks about dreams to someone who lives in the reality they once dreamed of. That is the power you have in this room right now. The power of choice, fueled by love, fortified by accountability, and executed with relentless intent. If this blueprint for turning pressure into unstoppable purpose resonated with you, support this channel. Hit the like button for wins of and subscribe. Your journey of activation is just beginning.